Welcome back to another episode of My Garage with Rally Sport Direct. My name is Jeff, and today we are really going to be focusing on the GR Corolla for one reason only: the dreaded P2C90 code. First off, what is this video about? This video is about MST creating a fix for this code. Now, whether you run one of their intakes or a different one, but it really all centers around this code, which the code is a manifold pressure code. Basically, the factory ECU is looking for the pressure to be in a certain range. When you increase airflow to the engine, that pressure can have a variance of the target and can trigger this code. So I had a 2023 GR Corolla prior. I did an aftermarket intake and didn't get the code, but then I installed a catch can and got the code. The reason this is such a large issue now is because with my 2025 and 2026 models, there's no way around this. Now, Toyota did release a update for the 23 and 24 cars, which for the most part fixed this code. But for the 25 and 26, they are very, very sensitive to this variance in pressure. Now, for the first track day I did of this year at Watkins Glen, I ended up adding my Forged Motorsport carbon fiber snorkel to the car, and even that triggered the code. So it's very sensitive, and I am very thankful that MST was able to figure out a workaround for this. Now, basically what MST did, they are a Taiwanese-based company. What they did was they shipped a US vehicle over there, and then they just, what do we have to do to get this to work? Like, how can we figure out a way to make the computer happy? Now, this code itself, the P2C90, it does trigger a check engine light, and there's a bunch of other stuff that's associated with that on the newer cars here, loss of power, you know, it wants you to go visit the dealer, all that stuff. It doesn't really have any sort of like detrimental issue for the motor. It's not gonna affect the health of the engine. It's more just, once again, looking for the pressure to be in a certain range. If it's not quite there, it gets a little bit worried that you're doing something wrong. So it's more of an annoyance than anything else. Today what we're gonna do is we're gonna be installing, for science, the MST V2 intake. If you have a K&N, if you have an Even Cherry, if you picked another brand for intake, MST's goal is to be able to get that code fixed for any of you as well. So what I'm gonna do is install this, get the code to trigger by driving the car around a little bit. Once it does that, and we can read it with my, my OBD2 scanner, we can see that the code is active, pending, all that stuff, permanent. We'll be installing the fix and then monitoring to see if it goes away. I think this is the best way to do it because it shows that if you have the issue and you buy this product, it will solve that. But yeah, let's get to work. I'm gonna unpack this, this box, show you guys exactly what to expect if you're gonna be picking up a V2 MST intake for your GR Corolla, and what this fix looks like as well. Let's check it out. All right, so first things first, we have the fix here. So what this is basically, it's a module that intercepts the factory pressure sensors. And I believe it just either gives it like a solid state, or it just keeps the pressure variance between kind of the highs and lows that the factory ECU wants to see. But yeah, that's it right here. If you just need this stuff, this is what you'll get. This is really cool. I'm gonna be honest, I do not have any experience with MST product. Everything looks really good. Really good quality. This is very like thick, nice material. Now for the cover, you can either put it on to help seal up the air and keep intake temperatures down, or you can leave it open for more turbo noises. We'll see what I end up doing. So I will say this plastic, there's like little spacers in there to make sure that this doesn't like collapse. I do like the fact that they used like threaded hardware on the bottom but not the top, just to keep it looking nice and clean. And that's it. Simple. I love it. If you guys are interested in seeing the full in-depth install video, we do have a separate link for that down in the description, which will go step by step on how I install this entire intake system in my GR Corolla. That's that noise I've been missing. All right, guess what just happened? We have a check engine light. Here we are. We made it. P2C90. So yeah, let's cruise home and put this fix on and see if it actually fixes stuff. So I do have the instructions in order to install the new harness. Now, this is what it looks like. It's this little box here. And what it does is it connects to the power, like I said before, the positive battery terminal. We're gonna ground it. And then the other part is gonna hook up to 2 of the pressure sensors on the valve cover area. All right, little update for you guys. It's been about a week since I installed the intake altogether. But since the last update where I was able to get the P2C90 code to become permanent, show up as a check engine light, and remind me every 3 seconds that it was there, it's been about 4 days since then. So it did take about 20 miles for the code to trigger the check engine light the first time, even though it was pending. This time, after 40 miles, after clearing the code, after 4 days here, no code. Now I did scan it with the OBD2 scanner, the same one that I used to read and erase the code this last time, and it's not pending, there's nothing. So, based on my testing so far, it seems like it fixed it. It seems like it worked. So I'm going to continue to drive the car. I am actually going on a pretty long road trip this weekend. Now I did ask MST for the fix. You know, I want to sell these. I want to help people out. I think people in my situation where like I am looking for a slight bump in performance and obviously the sound that I talked about being incredible. But I don't want a check engine light. I don't want to tune. You know, what does this module actually do? And basically, as kind of what I thought, is it's sending the signal within the parameters the ECU is looking for. So these don't affect the pressure sensors that like a JB4 or AFE Scorcher, like the actual map sensors on the charge piping that would affect, you know, fueling, that would affect boost readings, stuff like that. These are just the pressure sensors for the crankcase, breather, PCV system. So it doesn't affect performance at all. It has nothing to do with altering the tune. It is just those sensors that are checking for this specific pressure. So that's good. To me, it's like, all right, that's good. If you do run a JB4, if you run another type of tuner that plugs into those pressure sensors on the charge piping, you could still run that, no problem. Now, the other thing that they did mention, they have not verified with certainty that this fix will work with other brand intakes. Now, I would assume they would. I am also assuming that they're putting it out there to cover their bases. They don't want to make any false promises. So just something to consider if you are looking to get the fix. It's not guaranteed if you have eVenturi, K&N, any other brand on the market. So, but I'm pretty sure that it will. One more note. I did put the cover on the intake box and it is much quieter. So just a heads up. It is still louder than stock, that's for sure. But yeah, it's definitely not the same experience as before. So that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and chalk this up, big check mark saying that this worked. It's working for me. I will give you guys an update. Like I said, it's only been about 40 miles, but based on the first time I did the testing, the check engine light should have gone off twice by now. So yeah, check it out, rallysportdirect.com. We'll have a link below if you are looking for this fix or an intake for your GR Corolla. We would love to help with that. We'd appreciate the support. We will continue to do a lot more videos like this one where we're testing new products. I want to be able to give you guys the confidence that, you know, these new products, whether it be a braking product, exhaust, any other sort of fix that these, you know, products can enhance your ownership. We want to really invest the time in testing. So if you appreciate that, I would appreciate it if you were to check the site out, give us a follow on socials, all that stuff. But really appreciate you guys checking the video out. Have fun with your cars, get out there, we'll see you in the next one.